Smirking, the officer dismissed the elderly black veteran service medals as cheap trinkets in the hushed courtroom. Humiliation hung heavy, but the old soldier's eyes held a quiet storm. With a trembling hand, he reached for his phone. One call, and the smug look would shatter. Justice had a number. The Harmony Creek, Georgia courthouse felt ancient, its sluggish ceiling fans stirring humid air thick with the scent of stale coffee. Unlike the grand federal buildings or university offices, this was Harmony Creek, where Judge Elias Thorne usually dealt with minor disputes. So, when the old courtroom door creaked open that Thursday morning, a silence fell, born of sheer. Elijah Vance entered, his measured steps echoing. 70 years had etched lines of wisdom on his face, but his posture remained erect. His silver hair caught the light. He wore a faded yet impeccably pressed army uniform, its ribbons silent stories. Whispers rippled through the gallery. "Is that, a general?" Elijah moved towards the defense table, alone and tranquil. Across the aisle, Officer Kyle Briggs, young and cocky, chewed gum disdainfully. He leaned back, his uniform crisp. He chuckled to his nervous lawyer. "Playing dress-up in here like that old uniform means squat." The room buzzed, no one expecting a spectacle. This was just another cop versus civilian case in Harmony Creek, where the cop usually won. Elijah Vance stood, a stoic figure. His eyes, pools of experience, looked ahead. The uniform was part of him. A young bailiff approached, trembling. "Sir, do you have counsel?" Elijah turned, unreadable. "No," he stated. "I'll speak for myself." The flustered bailiff retreated. Officer Briggs, still smirking, relished his perceived power. This wasn't just law, it was about the pecking order. Briggs figured Vance was just another old black man on trial, standing alone. The courtroom rose for Judge Thorne. He reviewed the charges: obstruction, failure to comply, interfering. He looked at Elijah. "Mr. Vance, I understand you wish to proceed without counsel." Elijah nodded. "Correct, Your Honor." The judge turned to the prosecutor, who read the arrest report. The report painted Elijah as belligerent, refusing to exit his vehicle. But this didn't match the calm figure at the defense table. Officer Briggs leaned back, indifferent. The report ended. Judge Thorne leaned forward. "Mr. Vance, any response?" Elijah looked up. "I'd like a 5-minute recess, Your Honor. I need to make a phone call." A stir went through the courtroom. Briggs snorted, "Call your grandma." Judge Thorne ignored him. "Granted." Elijah walked toward the exit, his measured pace causing wonder. Elijah stepped into the hallway, retrieving a sleek, government phone. He dialed a number from memory. A crisp voice answered, "This is Colonel Harding." Elijah's voice was low. "This is Vance. I need an investigative team deployed to Harmony Creek County Courthouse, Georgia. Immediate priority. Improper detainment and character defamation. National security protocol." A pause, then, "Understood. We're en route." Elijah disconnected, returning to the courtroom. He sensed a shift in the air. Back inside, Briggs recounted his version. "I told him to lower the window. He hesitated. Then he reached for something. I ordered him out. He refused, rambling about rights and clearance, sounded paranoid." A few chuckled. Briggs smirked. Elijah remained silent. The prosecutor continued. Mr. Vance appeared increasingly agitated, demanding the officer's badge number and stating, "You don't know who you're dealing with." People exchanged glances. But General Vance didn't blink. Judge Thorne raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Vance, did you say that to Officer Briggs?" Elijah's voice was smooth. "I did not." Statement fabricated. "I never raised my voice." A recording would confirm. Briggs jumped in, body cam malfunctioned. Dash cam down. Maintenance backlog. The judge frowned. Convenient. Whispers questioned Briggs's truthfulness. Judge Thorne leaned forward. Officer Briggs, did Mr. Vance ever reach for a weapon? Briggs hesitated. No, but I felt, no weapon, no threat. No, but he refused orders. That's the threat. The judge scribbled notes. Elijah waited quietly. 5 minutes passed. The bailiff moved to the back door as it opened. Elijah re-entered. Behind him, silence. Then, the side door opened. 2 figures in dark suits entered, federal badges visible. One carried a thick folder. Behind them, Brigadier General Evelyn Reed, in uniform, entered. They walked to the judge's bench. The room fell silent. "Can I help you?" Judge Thorne asked. The lead agent handed over a sealed envelope. Priority level documentation under Title 10. General Reed spoke, her voice calm. U.S. Army Office of General Counsel. Representing Mr. Vance. Judge Thorne hesitated, turned to the pale prosecutor. The folder contained orders, logs, GPS proving Vance on military assignment. The timeline unraveled. Briggs sat upright, smirk gone. Brigadier General Reed addressed the court. Documents include prior misconduct reports against Officer Briggs. A pattern may exist. The prosecutor stammered, highly irregular. We haven't reviewed this. Judge Thorne removed his glasses. Seems you've had 2 weeks to review your own officer's history. Briggs shifted. Judge Thorne turned to Elijah. Mr. Vance, would you like to speak? Elijah stood. I was pulled over just outside Pine Ridge. Provided credentials, explained classified meeting, cleared by DOD. Not speeding. Calm, respectful. Asked why stopped. He paused, meeting Briggs's gaze. Officer Briggs became aggressive, accused me of lying, ordered me out without reason. Reached for cuffs. I didn't resist. Asked for badge number. Ignored. Restrained me, said I should know better. A murmur rippled. But I wasn't above law. Followed every rule. He returned to his seat. Judge Thorne turned to the prosecutor. Do you wish to continue? The prosecutor hesitated. We request recess. Denied, Judge Thorne countered. Proceeding continues. Officer Briggs's narrative was collapsing. Most in the courtroom didn't know Elijah Vance beyond his uniform. But the documents told of deployments, peacekeeping, evacuations, clearances, a Defense Superior Service Medal. He was the leader others called when things fell apart. There he was, in a stale courtroom, portrayed as reckless. The irony wasn't lost on him. His career taught him about quiet erasures, twisted truth. Briggs's story unraveled. Elijah knew real accountability took time. From the gallery, whispers wondered about influence. The truth, Elijah reported through proper channels. Judge Thorne reviewed Vance's records, GPS logs confirming his authorized route and Briggs's fabricated claims. Officer Briggs, if parked for 12 minutes, why resist arrest? Briggs stammered, wouldn't comply. Kept arguing. Arguing, or asking. Briggs struggled. Felt aggressive. Judge Thorne sighed. Feeling isn't truth. The courtroom shifted. It was about assumptions, rewritten narratives, a man accused for existing. Elijah remained resolute. Judge Thorne reviewed Briggs's record, 5 complaints, mostly settled quietly. Officer Briggs, the judge began, do you recall a complaint from Marcus Evans? Or Mrs. Jenkins, threatened with towing? Briggs flushed, offering weak excuses. The courtroom was quiet. Judge Thorne's voice grew colder. 5 complaints in 2 years. None in the court filing. The prosecutor was red-faced. Judge Thorne turned to Elijah. "Mr. Vance, did Officer Briggs mention his reason for stopping you?" Elijah nodded. "Said no signal at turn." "No turn." Judge Thorne sighed. He looked at Brigadier General Reed. "General Reed, your review." Reed placed another folder. "Body cam from another officer. Shows Mr. Vance asking for badge number, hands visible." Briggs blanched. "Objection," his lawyer shouted. "Footage not shared." Judge Thorne didn't blink. "Objecting to evidence your client hid?" The lawyer deflated. The judge looked at Briggs. "Why wasn't that mentioned?" Briggs looked down. He'd assumed his version would stand. But this wasn't usual. And Elijah Vance wasn't usual. The courtroom watched, judging Briggs. Officer Kyle Briggs sat motionless, panic in his eyes. Judge Thorne leaned forward. "Officer Briggs, you claimed resistance. Footage shows calm request for badge, hands visible. Explain." Briggs stammered, "Must have misremembered. Felt escalating." Judge Thorne tilted his head. "Or you escalated it." Elijah remained silent. The judge turned to the prosecutor. "Wish to proceed?" The prosecutor stalled. Brigadier General Reed stepped forward. "Your Honor, we submit Mr. Vance's orders, time logs, clearance. Arrest delayed national briefing at cost." The courtroom absorbed this. It was federal. Judge Thorne reviewed. He turned to Elijah. "General, how long served?" 42 years. Ever arrested?" "No." Misconduct complaints? "No." Targeted? Elijah paused. He saw my face before my badge. The line resonated. Briggs looked down. People reconsidered. Judge Thorne rubbed his temples. Rarely seen a case question this courtroom's integrity like this. He turned to Briggs. "Your conduct referred to the Georgia SBI. Badge loses meaning if abused." Briggs nodded. Judge Thorne turned to Elijah. "Hope action makes up for this." Elijah stood. "Came for truth." The judge nodded. "Got it." He brought down the gavel. Charges dismissed. The courtroom emptied slowly, silence filled with understanding. Briggs sat slumped, badge removed. Disbelief etched his face. Elijah turned to Brigadier General Reed, who nodded. He addressed Briggs. "Badge isn't a challenge, it's accountability. You thought I provoked you, but I protected myself. I've been in war zones where respect was found across languages. You couldn't manage that here." Briggs looked away. Elijah walked out. A woman apologized. "You didn't do this, but we let it happen." Outside, life continued. Two young men watched Elijah walk. "He didn't flip it," one said. "He just let the truth speak." Inside, Briggs remained frozen. The judge stared into space. No press conference. Elijah drove away. A teen recorded him, "Thanks for standing up." Elijah smiled. Most people would. 103 words. Word spread beyond Harmony Creek via social media. Local media followed. By evening, headline news. Disbelief grew. Officer Briggs's phone rang. The mayor issued a statement. The police department declined comment. People were talking. At Shaw's Diner, conversations changed. At the football field, parents murmured. At Fort Benning, officers shared the summary. Briggs's name trended for arrogance. Complaints and settlements circulated. It wasn't just one man. It was about fragile truth versus ego, unchecked power. General Reed confirmed Vance's safe return. Catching up on emails. 2 days later, the courthouse released a statement dismissing charges against Vance, referring Briggs for investigation. No apology. Vance returned to Fort Benning. He received an anonymous apology. Briggs was suspended, his reputation ruined. Public opinion had moved on. In Harmony Creek, conversations reflected reflection. At the library, a teacher asked why the general didn't bring a lawyer. Because he wanted them to hear him. That was the legacy, quiet exposure of injustice. Judge Thorne commented, "Truth doesn't always shout." In his truck, Elijah looked at family photos. He didn't need an apology. But this generation would remember. Weeks later, Elijah sat on his porch in Louisiana, a notebook open. Your silence only matters when you know what it protects. He hadn't sought publicity. The lesson was restraint. A former cadet sent a message, "You made me feel seen." At Fort Benning, commanders used the transcript to illustrate composure. One officer said, "We teach them how to choose which battles are worth standing through." In Harmony Creek, Briggs was off the roster. New training scheduled. Judge Thorne ordered a review of complaints. Elijah continued his routine. People recognized him for his unwavering stance. One day, he spoke at a local college about leadership. "My calm wasn't absence of feeling, but a shield. They wanted rage, but I gave them clarity. That was my truest weapon." He closed his notebook and left in silence. The truth had been said.